What's up, with your boy, a guy named Tyler, reporting live from the MITM podcast, where we dive deep into the matters that shape our lives. Today, we're embarking on a journey of self-discovery by exploring our personal passions and interests. With that being said, run the intro.
Caught up in them bright lights, dust of shiny things that's golden. Everything ain't always what it seems, that it's soaking. Chasing my dreams, coming apart at my seams. Best believe that the money is the motive.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the MITM podcast. And today we're talking about personal passions and interests. Now, our passions and interests are sparks that ignite our souls and bring joy and fulfillment into our lives. By exploring and nurturing these aspects, we can unlock our true potential. So let's delve into some tangible tips to help you uncover and explore your personal passions and interests. So, tip number 1, pay attention to what excites you. Now, in order to do this, you want to take notes of the activities, subjects, hobbies that ignite a genuine sense of excitement and enthusiasm within you, okay? What makes you lose track of time? Okay, what, like those things that you end up doing for hours and hours. I know some of us, it might be things like video games. It might be getting lost in a book. It might be creating, like I know personally when I'm making something, maybe I'm working on a new course, maybe I'm building a desk. When I'm creating things, I lose track of time completely, right? You want to think of what brings you joy. Okay, what puts a smile on your face just thinking about doing that activity? I already know that by saying those words, there's something that came to mind that put a little bit of a smirk or a smile on your face right now. I want you to really dive deeper into those things, all right? What energizes you? Okay, there's in our day-to-day, there's things that bring us energy and there's things that take energy from us. So you want to look at the things that bring more energy into your life, all right? Pay attention to these moments. Pay attention to the moments of passion. Okay, they're powerful indicators of your personal interests, and they'll really help you discover more of who you are or maybe who you want to be on this planet. Right? We only have this one life, and it's for us to choose how we live it day by day. So that is tip number 1. Now, tip number 2. Ooh, I like tip number 2. It's to experiment with new activities. Okay, don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to try new activities or to explore unfamiliar territories. So some ways that you can do this, some ways that you can step out of your comfort zone, try new activities and explore unfamiliar territories is to maybe sign up for some classes. Sign up for a class that you've never done before. Sign up for a workshop you've never done before. Or even go to events related to topics that intrigue you, right? In tip number 1, we said start paying attention to what excites you. Well, hey, let's experiment with these things and actually let's look for things that are on the edge of the things that excite you. What are the peripheral items that you can tap into to then maybe join a community to explore deeper, right? Engaging in these new experiences can help you discover hidden passions and interests that you may never even have known existed, right? So that's it for tip number 2. Tip number 3, reflect on childhood dreams. Okay, childhood dreams often hold clues to what our true passions are. Okay, reflect on the dreams and aspirations that you had as a child. What were the activities or careers that captivated your imagination? More times than not, our paths may have diverged from what we envisioned, what we thought about, what we wanted to be when we were children. But reconnecting with the childhood dreams can reignite a fire within and guide you towards your personal passions, whatever they may be. I know for myself, Tarzan was at one of my absolute favorite movies. I used to run around on my knuckles and hands like a wild animal, and I used to love to just be moving and playing sports and all sorts of things. But I also was very nurturing because I'm the oldest of 11. So the fitness aspect and the nurturing aspect put together led me to becoming a personal trainer. And, with whatever happening with COVID, the nurturing aspect, and also, well, when I was young, I used to love money and I used to sell things to my classmates. I used to sell erasers and pencils and all sorts of shit, and sometimes get in trouble from selling them on the playground. Or I'd find someone with the Dunkaroos and I would end up, I don't know if any of y'all know what Dunkaroos are. I think they're discontinued, but we would trade our snacks, and I would continually try and trade snacks or sell certain amounts of my snack to get money so I could trade with other people. Those were what I did as a child and what I enjoy doing. I loved making money, so that's why even now I talk about money. And so my passions are fitness, finance, to build your dream lifestyle. That's why we even have the MITM podcast. I went back to my childhood roots, you know? Okay, let's look at tip number 4, okay? Tip number 4 is to seek inspirations from others. We want to look to others who are pursuing their passions and find inspirations in their stories. Okay, maybe you read biographies. I know that when I was younger, Michael Jackson was one of my absolute idols, and I read his biography and I loved it. Reading Steve Jobs' biography, loved it. When you read these folks' biographies, when you watch documentaries, or when you listen to interviews with the individuals who have found success and fulfillment in their chosen field, this can help inspire you. This can help ignite that fire that's within you, okay? And their journeys can provide valuable insight that'll ignite your own passion and your own exploration, okay? I know Tony Robbins says success leaves clues, and I know he's not the first person to say that, but he's the person that comes to mind when I hear that quote. But success leaves clues. So when you seek inspiration from those who have already blazed the trail or have already gone in a certain direction, you may find success just a little bit easier to attain, you know? All right, tip number 5, carve out some time for exploration. So it's not just enough to say, hey, I wanted to pay attention, I want to experiment, I want to reflect, I want to seek. You have to make time for it, okay? You need to make a conscious effort to carve out dedicated time for exploring your personal passions and interests. Personally, my time for that is on Sunday. I decided not to do any work on Sundays. Sunday is my day to, and I recently put this in my calendar, to tend to my kingdom. And part of tending to my kingdom is to be, right? It's my day for being a human being instead of a human doing, which I am on all the other days. And by being, I've created space for me to enjoy my passions and enjoy my interests, okay? Now, creating a schedule that allows you to engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment is extremely important, okay? You setting up that schedule creates boundaries. And when we create discipline, when we create boundaries, that's when we're able to also find freedom, okay? Now, whether it's an hour a day to start or it's a whole weekend getaway, prioritize time for self-discovery and indulging in your passions, okay? And last but not least, our final tip for today is to embrace a growth mindset. And y'all's gonna hear me say this over and over and over again, but you need to embrace a growth mindset, okay? Adopt a growth mindset as you explore your personal passions and interests. Embrace the idea that you can continuously learn, grow, and evolve in these areas. Be open to new experiences, challenges, setbacks, and remember that the journey itself is just as important as the destination, okay? Each step you take brings you closer to uncovering your true passions. And one of the frameworks that I use, or the mindset that I use for this specifically, is I'm a perpetual 9 that is aiming to be a 10, but it's impossible to get there. This allows me to continually have a growth mindset, okay? I can never be perfect. And even when I get there, I have to maintain it, all right? So that brings us to the end of today's episode of the MITM podcast. I hope that y'all's got a lot of value out of today's session, and I hope y'all's like this format. Definitely give me some feedback, because we're going to have a lot more similar to this. If y'all's like it, we'll keep it. If you hate it, maybe we'll shift it. We'll see. But remember, exploring your personal passions and interests is a journey of self-discovery and fulfillment, okay? Pay attention to what excites you. Experiment with new activities. Reflect on childhood dreams. Seek inspiration. Carve out time and embrace a growth mindset, all right? So enjoy me next time as we continue to explore matters that shape our lives. And until then, keep exploring, discovering, and nurturing your passions. Peace.